What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be going through all the clone fragrances I did sell, why I sold them, if I don't like them, or if there was just a better alternative. But so these are all in my notes. I keep track of each fragrance clone I had and sold. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. The first one is going to be a Creed Aventus clone. So I had L'Aventure Intense. I ended up getting Supremacy Silver, so that replaced L'Aventure Intense quickly. So I got Supremacy Silver, shipped that one right out. I think I sold it. I might have traded it, I'm not too sure. Ombre Leather's clone of Amber and Leather. I did like it. I just traded it due to the fact that I had Galatea by Parfums de Marly, the clone. Very redundant to have, and I preferred Galatea better. So that's why I did replace Amber and Leather with Galatea. Next one is a Tobacco Oud clone by Tom Ford. So this is going to be a Just Oud Boulevard. Really did not like the fragrance. I'm not sure if it's just the tobacco with the oud mixture that I hate, or it's just a cheap fragrance, so it didn't come off to my taste. Next one is going to be a bunch of Parfums de Marly. So Layton, I had Dust the Woods collection. The Layton clone, I guess I understand why people say this is the designer of the fragrance of the house. Pretty much smelled like every other designer out there, so I was like, don't need this, especially if it smelled like, let's say, a 1 million elixir or something in that range, or like a Paco Rabanne XS or an Azara Most Wanted. That's just exactly what the fragrance smelled like. Didn't impress me, just went ahead and sold it. As you can see, I'm not the type to just keep fragrances for the collection. I just go ahead, if I don't like it or if it's redundant, I ship it right out. Next one is going to be Sedley, a clone of Sedley, which was Mahir Legacy. I just absolutely hated that fragrance. Part of it reminded me of Nautica Voyage, and if you guys know how I feel about Nautica Voyage, you already know it's going to be quicker to exit my collection. Next one is Pegasus clone Perseus by Maison Alhambra. Again, one of those I just wasn't really reaching for. I believe it was the vanilla that I didn't really like. I just went ahead and sold it. Next one's going to be a clone of Carlisle, Cassius by Maison Alhambra. I did like the fragrance. It reminded me a little bit of Mancera's Red Tobacco, which I have already a lot of tobacco fragrances, and just wasn't interesting enough for me that I just wasn't reaching for it. So I went ahead and sold it. And then the last one is the Wahan Legion clone. So the Legion clone is by Fragrance World, I believe. Just did not like the fragrance. It was way too gourmandy for me. I'm not a big gourmand fan. I remember it being way too cinnamony. Not my type of fragrance. Xerjoff, I have one that I traded, and it was Alexandria 2. That was the clone of Alexandria 2, and it was Lattafa's Oudain. I have never had more of a just confused sense in a fragrance, because I would spray it on my hand. I would hate how it smells, but I would just keep smelling it as it dried down. Somewhat kind of like it, but I just knew I would never wear this fragrance. It'd be probably one of those I just smell it every once in a while if I just wanted to see if I liked it better. So went ahead and sold it. Just I knew I wasn't gonna really wear it at all. So I'd rather use that money, put it somewhere else. That's something I'll definitely use. So my Louis Vuitton's clones that I sold were 3 actually really well. Out of the 3, 2 I really enjoyed. I did sell them for redundancy. So I had a Nouveau Monde clone by Louis Vuitton, and it was Nouveau by Maison Alhambra. I did sell that one. It was one of those scents that it smelled weird, but I did like the scent. I wore it a few times. I did enjoy it. but as my collection grew, I knew I wasn't really gonna reach for it much anymore, so I sold it. Next one was a Mateer. Was Mateer by Maison Alhambra. I just found that it wasn't actually actually it's a Mateer Noir clone. Sold that one. Really did like it. It reminded me of this fragrance, Intoxicated, or just like, you know, those purple fragrances. So like Oud Satin Mood. What's the other one? Oud Satin Mood. There's Intoxicated. There's Mateer. There was one more, I believe, but it was just in that style of fragrances, so I found it pretty redundant to have Intoxicated. So I did sell that one. Next one is going to be, oh, the last one was Greece actually. Next one's going to be Dior clones. So my Dior clones, I did have Dior Homme Parfum clone, which was Gary Den Fomo. So that one I actually did have. I loved it. Well, no, I actually hated it, sold it. Then I was like, I gave it some time, traded for it again. So I got it in the trade. Enjoyed it more this time, and that's when I went ahead and got Dior Homme Intense. I know it was different, where Dior Homme Parfum and Dior Homme Intense are similar, but if that's the clone of Dior Homme Parfum, then Dior Homme Intense is pretty close. They're both pretty similar in my opinion. Next one is the Fée Delicieuse, which is Frenetic Delicieuse. Too gourmandy for me. That's another one that was way too gourmandy for me. Leather Oud. I had a Leather Oud clone that was ridiculous. It pretty much smelled like a urinal. Like, I was trying to like it because leather and oud are two of my favorite notes, but it just smelled like a urinal. Next one is going to be an oud. It's going to be a clone of Oud Rosewood. It's going to be a Rose Oud clone. I actually did start enjoying that fragrance towards the end, but again, it's one of those that I didn't really feel like I was going to wear too much, and it's, again, I didn't really like rose at the time. Next one is going to be a Fahrenheit clone, which is going to be Renheit. That one absolutely hated. Don't care, try to wear it, try to like it. Don't know what it is about Fahrenheit, absolutely hate it. Next one is Amber Nuit, which is previous by, the clone is Amber Night. Way too gourmandy for me. Another one that's not really my type of scent. Next is an Angel Share clone, Enigma Dukes. I did have Enigma Dukes, I did sell that one. I also had Cocktail Intense, did sell it, and what was the other one? I had one more that I did sell, I don't have it on the list. Fire Your Desire was my main one, that it just nothing could compete with Fire Your Desire, so I got rid of the rest. I also did have Combra that I recently filled just because I found Fire Your Desire and Combra to be really redundant, even though I know Combra is more like a twist. I just preferred Fire Your Desire if I was going to wear something in that scent. Next one is going to be Kilian Intoxicated clone. I got the actual bottle, so I got rid of the clone. Kind of regret it. Might get another one again. And a Back to Black by Kilian clone, which is When Your Soul Gets High. I don't remember why I sold that one. I just don't think it really interested me, so I knew I was really going to wear it too much. So I just decided to use that money for something else. For the Mancera clones, I have Red Tobacco, clone of Wild and Tobacco. Just not a big fan of Red Tobacco. The dry down's better, but it's just getting rid of, or getting past the opening. I have other tobacco fragrances that I prefer. So next one is Cedrat Boisé clone, which is Cedrat Essence, believed by Emir. That is another one that I actually ended up getting Cedrat Boisé Intense. So I got rid of the Cedrat Essence clone. Then I got Instant Crush clone, which is Super Crush. Just not my type of fragrance. It reminded me of BR540. I'm not that big of a fan of BR540, so I actually ended up selling that one also. Next one is a YSL Y Chic All Shook Final Edition. Really close fragrance to YSL Y, but I decided if I'm gonna get a YSL Y clone. YSLY is not that expensive. I'll go ahead and get the actual bottle. Haven't done that yet, but I know in the future I'll probably be getting YSLY. Probably the EDT, just because that's normally the one that it draws me more towards it. Next one is a YSL Blue Electrique clone, which is Jack of Clubs. Wasn't the biggest fan. I can see where the appeal is. Just never wore it. I'd rather use that to get something else. Again, that's why I sold it. So sold Jack of Clubs to get something. Ended up getting something else. Not too sure exactly what I got. Next is gonna be Initio. So Initio Side Effect. Well, there's gonna be a lot of Initios here. I actually only kept one, which is Oud for Glory. So Side Effect is clone of Aftermath. The Rose, Jammy Rose, didn't like it, sold it. Oud for Happiness, Happiness Oud clone, was a clone, did not like it, sold it. Actually, that one was okay, but it was way too strong. One spray was way too strong, so that's just not my type of fragrance, unless it's the ombre. But definitely sold that one. Actually, no, Side Effect wasn't a rose fragrance. It was, I believe, a boozy fragrance that I still did not enjoy. I normally like boozy fragrances, but something about that clone probably just not my type of scent. An Atomic Rose clone, which was Amethyst, another jammy type of rose I did not like. This one I kind of did enjoy. Musk Therapy clone of Infinity Musk. I did kind of enjoy that one, but I just knew I was gonna wear it much, so another one I just gave up. Honor and Glory. This isn't a clone of Initio, but they have the bottle style similar to the clone, or like to the Initio clones. That one, if you want to smell like a straight up pineapple, go ahead and get that fragrance. I just don't care about that scent. I don't like gourmand, like I said, so that's why I don't like that fragrance. And it was like an okay fragrance where you literally would just smell like a pineapple. Next one is going to be a Mason Francis Kirkjohn clone, which is, let's go ahead and start off with BR540. The clone I got was Bearcat Rouge 540. That was definitely one of my first clones that I got, and one of my first sales actually. I got rid of that one so quick. Yeah, that one gave me a headache. This one I actually did enjoy, the Oud Satin Mood clone, Bearcat Satin Oud. I'm considering getting that fragrance again. Just because I really did enjoy the fragrance. I got rid of it because of the redundancy, but it's something I would probably go back and revisit. Next one is Grand Soir clone of Bearcat Amber Eve. Don't remember why I sold this one. It was an okay fragrance from what I remember, but I just knew I wasn't gonna wear it much probably, and that's why I got rid of it. And the last one being an Aqua Celestia clone. I really did like the fragrance, but I got it during the winter. I knew I wasn't gonna really use it. Just went ahead and shipped it off. I do have a few blue fragrances that I would definitely wear over that one, or just fresh fragrances that I would wear over that one. So I did get rid of it. Next is going to be Roja. Roja, I only have two clones for Roja. It's an Elysium, which is Imperium, and Apex. I had Vertex. Vertex was, I believe, a twist of like the EDP and Parfum, if I'm not mistaken. Or the Cologne and the Parfum, something like that. So it's kind of like a twist. I really did enjoy it, but it's kind of redundant for Dior Sauvage Elixir. So that is why I did sell it. But if you do like that Dior Sauvage Elixir type of scent, and you want something more than just the elixir, I'd say definitely go ahead and try that one also. Next one up is Amouage. So I did have a clone of Amouage Interlude, which was Afnan Supremacy Incense. That one was a love-hate relationship, but this was when I was getting more into clones. I would probably revisit that one. I remember kind of liking it, but not enough to wear enough. So I think I would probably get that one back at some point. Next one is going to be Bulgari These clones I actually really did like. I got rid of them just because I wanted to spend the money on something else. I was looking to get more into designer bottles and niche bottles, so I just wanted to resell the fragrances to get more fragrances that I would wear more often. So Cobra clone, which is by Sol, and I'm sorry, Bulgari Guyan or Guyan, it was Vi U. Both of them really good fragrances, but like I said, I was tired of the clones at this point. I just wanted to get something that was actually an actual fragrance. You could blame that on Dior Homme Cologne. That kind of made me just switch and just only want designers or niche or like the actual name brand. But now I'm kind of going back into the clones just because there's some things I know I'm not going to buy, so I'd rather just have the clone for it. Next one is going to be Agua di Gio. So this is going to be a let me see, Profumo clone, which was Jorge de Profumo by Maison Alhambra. Really close. This was actually one of the ones that I was like, I'll just go ahead and get the actual bottle just because I did used to have Profumo. I actually sold it a while ago just because the atomizer was kind of messed up. But it discontinued it, so I'm gonna have to get the new one. I forgot what the new name of it is. And then from Giorgio Armani, it is Stronger With You Absolute. Stronger With You Absolutely clone, which was Proud of You Absolute. Really good clone, but like I said, redundancy. So I already had the actual bottle of Stronger With You, which was the original. So I decided not to just go ahead and sell the clone of the Absolutely. Redundant. Like I said, if I had the real deal, I'd rather just have the real deal. Did have a clone of Nishani Ani, which was Nashit. Never. Well, that one, yeah, I won't revisit that one. Way too heavy on the vanilla. I'm not a gourmand guy. Sold it. And let me see how much I have maybe 3 left. So we have Carolina Herrera, Lapis Lazuli clone, which is exclusive saffron. That one is heavy on saffron. Not that big of a fan of just saffron straightforward that way. Next one is Mystery Tobacco clone of exclusive tobacco. That one was actually a really good one, but I did have redundancy. I did get rid of it. I did really enjoy that fragrance though. And let's see. I did have Mueller's Pure Malt clone of Posh Malt. Really did like that fragrance. I kind of just threw it in because I was doing a trade. I forgot for which fragrance, but I had to give it up for a trade. Didn't really want to, but gave it up. Let's see. And then last one, I believe. Yeah, so this is going to be the last one. Last one is Memo's African Leather, which is Memo Afro Leather. This was a fragrance that I liked it, but I knew I wasn't going to wear it too often. So I did sell it. But yeah, I don't know how many fragrances that is. I don't know if I'm going to try to put the picture of each fragrance next to me just because I kind of quick fired it, just to not make it as long of a video. But let me know if you guys had any of these similar clones, or any of the same ones. If you guys love one of the ones I got rid of, let me know. But if you guys did like the video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.